Alright, let's see if this is gonna go on the first try today, because wouldn't that be something? Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. The technology is on our side. First try today. Oh, wouldn't that be something? Then I gotta remember to push all the buttons. Once I've pushed all the buttons, life gets better. There we go. Wow, first try. Gotta love it when that happens. Alright, so, hey, it's Patrick, yay! How's it going? People were asking where you were at last week. Just commented that they hadn't seen you in a while, so it's super good that you managed to join us today. Happy New Year! I don't think I've gotten to tell you Happy New Year yet. Good, I'm glad. What's new? Got any projects on the go? It occurs to me that I may need to angle this camera just a bit. See if that works. Oh, a little too much. Come on, computer. Work with me here. That's better. Yay! Cool, cool, cool. On the Forest Technique, hey? I sure love that pencil version that you've got going on. Yeah, paper type can be a really big thing when you're dealing with a naturally occurring texture like graphite. I wasn't making the connection, but I had started a watercolor project and same paper that I always use, but I'd flipped it over somehow while I was prepping it, and so I was painting on a much rougher side. It wasn't the smooth side that I normally work on, and I was so confused about why I wasn't getting what I was expecting to get from it. I don't remember how I figured it out exactly, but it was just like, oh, okay. Now I know what's going on. Not something that I would normally like have an issue with, but apparently I just couldn't get it together that day. Oh my goodness, yay! Hi, Brian. How are you? You guys can probably hear Saxon moving around in here. Come on, Pepper. What are you going to do? Lay down. That was a good boy. Thank you. I am good. I'm a little bit tired today. Didn't sleep so great last night, which kind of sucks. But other than that, doing all right. This is just a mountain study that I'm doing. I can't remember if it was Naglis or Dexter who challenged me on a stream a couple of months ago now by asking me, like, do I always do the same shape of mountains? And honestly, yes, I always do the same shape of mountains. And so I was thinking about this and realized that I need to draw mountain ranges that are different from the mountain ranges that I grew up with. Um, because I grew up with the Canadian Rockies, which have a very particular shape. And that's always the shape that I kind of stylistically reproduce. But if I want to draw geography from around the world and make my maps a little more realistic and a little less stylized, I need to draw mountains from other places. So this is drawn from a photo that my high school friend Courtney took of the Suspicion Mountains in Arizona. And I just think that's the best name for a mountain range I think I've ever heard. And so what I want to do is just try to get a little bit more of a study done just so that I have a different ecosystem in my brain for when I'm planning mountains. Like, it's something new and different. I'm kind of at loose ends right now. I had a really large commission lined up that should have taken all of February, and it's been delayed. So I'm kind of like, whoa, all right, I've been gearing up for this commission for like 2 months and it's not on right now. So that's fine. It's completely not a problem, but it just was like, there goes my February plans, right? I had something in mind and now I'm like, what do I do with myself? So, Naglis, hey, how's it going? I was just saying that I couldn't remember if it was you or Dexter who asked me a couple of months ago if I always drew the same style of mountains. And that kind of has been what's inspired this piece that I'm working on today, is just getting out of my comfort zone and trying something new. And Photoshop, nice. That's exciting. That's a skill that I do not have. Should get it at some point. Oh, double verb. Is anybody gonna notice? Hey Laura! How you doing, honey? Well, I'm glad that you're okay. Yeah, centimeter tall is gonna be a little more obvious. Cool that you can have your dad help you with that, though. Well, I hope he does. The page break. Well, technically it is part of the pick. I normally don't work over a spine break. Like normally when I work small, or I work like on one side, right? Sometimes I'll do a spread, but like the design will be separate pieces over the break so that I'm not dealing with the mess that becomes a spine break. But apparently I needed to do something different this time. I don't understand why I jumped the challenge on myself quite this hard. I question the art gods all the time. You want me to do what? It gets a little something sometimes. Oof, that's a bit of a stretch, Naglis. How's your hands doing? Cramping up yet? That's good. Good, good, good. What are you working on, Brian? Just taking a break tonight? Got a project on the boil? Oh man, that's like one of the worst feelings, especially when it's for somebody that you like and you're like, I really want to do this for you, but this is not what I want right now. What's it for, Patrick? Like, is it a stylistic thing or a content thing, or are you just not in the zone right now? Your new toy. Brian, is that I'm gonna forget what word you used. Krita? The coloring system? You were saying you were trying it instead of or as an alternative to or something something Photoshop? Yeah, Patrick, that's awesome, honestly. That's kind of why I want people to come hang out. It's like, just come work. Let's all hang out, work on stuff together. Sometimes I really don't want to get started on a Thursday morning, and then I'm like, but my friends are going to be there, so I should really go work. Is it just like open source software, or I've never heard of it before. I'm literally functioning with no knowledge here. You got a Cintiq? Oof, oof, so much envy, darling. That is super exciting. Do you love it? Is it everything that the hype tells us it is? Because I'm super curious. Yeah, that good, hey? Oh, it's really frustrating when you don't get a clear spec from somebody. Because it's just like, okay, well, what? Like, I need more guidance than what you're giving me. Raspberry Pi computer. I did not know you were building a computer. How's that going for you? That sounds like something I could never do that might actually be super fun. Well, I'm glad that you love it, Brian. Like, that's super, super exciting. Cintiq is a drawing tablet, and the one that Brian has, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, has the screen down, so it's displayed. So as you're drawing, you can actually see what your hand is producing. So it's more like drawing on paper for a digital. I have an Intuos Wacom tablet, but because I can't see what I'm doing without looking up at the screen, I find it very non-intuitive to use. And so I just don't use it. Which is a shame because I think that going to digital for certain things like coloring would alleviate some of the pressure that I have with my hands. But one day I'm going to be able to afford a Cintiq. I want one. I think it would be a fun tool to have. Yeah, inking is... Part of me wonders how that's going to go, though, because, like, I am such an analog person. Like, I love the texture and the sensation of working with a pen. And so I just have no idea if I'll like the feeling of going to a digital medium. That's so small, Patrick. Like a credit card? Wow. Now I think that you're secretly a spy and you're planting supercomputers in people's wallets. So because you've already been using one, are you finding the learning curve tough to get through with this one, Brian? Like, is it just way more advanced or is it not so bad? I don't know that, Brian Naglis. In a 50 cal ammo can. That's amazing. Man, we use ammo cans for serious storage in our house, not gonna lie. Especially stuff we don't want like friends' kids getting into because those latches are hardcore. Yep, that's the thing. I never did figure out my custom buttons on my Wacom. I didn't do it, which is probably why I don't love it as much as I could. I should really do that and then see if I love it more. Although I just want to be able to look at my hands, damn it. Like I really do. I don't know what you mean by that comment, Naglis. I'm definitely one of those people that does not succeed in, like, mechanical things. Which I think should be evident by the fact that I'm always surprised every time I succeed in getting the stream to load on the first time to the internet. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, Naglis. Thanks for letting me know. Interesting that North America is not the only group of people that uses that as a slanderous thing. I've never seen it LUL, Brian. That's kind of funny. Kenny G. Oh my goodness, Patrick, I'm with you on that. Kenny G forever. Especially in terms of like stereotypical sexy music. What instrument does he play? Is it a clarinet? I don't know. Anyway, he's like swanky, kind of jazzy. Him and Michael Bolton, man. They are like the power team for the sexy ballad from like the 80s and 90s. Sax, thank you. Fuck. Oops, shouldn't have sworn. Yeah, my brain has never seen him perform. I only know the sound, and so I am clearly not up on my instruments. I'm used to a deeper sax, maybe, is what it is. I know. I'm the worst. And see, on the internet, I always go asterisk, laugh, asterisk. Soprano saxophone, that's why. Thank you, Laura. Not a musical person. Well, I love music. Never played an instrument. Let me clarify that. I sing rather well, but never ever got music theory or band classes or any of that. That's why I thought, like, clarinety goodness. Okay, I feel better. I suspect that would probably have been a really good concert. Like, I periodically go through phases where I want to listen to his music. The dude has got an incredible voice. Plus, he's just got, like, that angsty 90s love rock thing going on, which, you know, every now and then you get in the mood for. As I'm working, I'm realizing these places where I thought the cactuses were going to go are, like, wildly not where they should be. It's like, oh, hi, cactus. You should be over here. Sometimes you just have to commit to cacti location. Go with that. And then you realize you've been doing a million other things wrong in terms of the proportion of your page too. What are you going to do? Make it up as you go. That's the answer. Yeah, it's very interpretive. Let's be real. I don't think there's a good way to try and represent what I'm drawing. Like, it's a massive mess of textures and everything else. So, like, yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna fault me for being like, this is not accurate. But it's definitely amusing to me to realize where my expectations are. I love platypuses. They're so great. Although I have to admit, baby ones look really freaky with their rubbery lips. Like, that is a thing. It is a strange thing. I do not know how I feel about that thing. This is like kind of a fluffy deal. Kind of comes up like this, kind of comes around like this, and just generally kind of goes like this. You know, I don't think I'm familiar with the sound, Laura. I do know Phineas and Ferb. That is one of my favorite cartoons ever, actually. I did not realize that Perry the Platypus's sound was that accurate. That's interesting. Oh, spiky trees. You're such a pain in the butt. Yeah, Phineas and Ferb is actually one of the most intelligent kids cartoons that I know of. Like it's a really really brilliant show. Um, whoever whoever the writing team is for that is pretty fabulous. Oh goodness. Spiky trees, why? Tea time. Yay tea. Why you gotta do me like this, spiky trees? The worst part is like some of you are spiky and some of you are not. Oh, that's a texture that works. Woohoo! Yay, pen shortcuts. Gotta love it when that happens. Haha! Oh, I like that quite a bit. Yay! I've never seen Love Actually, Laura. I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry. Although, if it's TV, you shouldn't be that surprised because I am terrible at television. It's one of your Christmas movies. Okay, good to know. Hey Patrick, welcome back. That's quite the cast. I do love me some Alan Rickman, gotta be honest. Gotta be honest. And unpopular opinion, he was the only part of Die Hard worth watching. Dave loves that movie. I'm so over it. What do you think of this tree? Well, trees, I think it looks good from a distance. I'm pretty happy with that. Did you? He was never, like, Snape was never my favorite character in that series, honestly. I understand the attraction and I understand why he's, like, the tragic anti-hero or whatever. I do think Alan Rickman's portrayal of him was brilliant. Please don't conflate that with my uncertainty about the character of Snape. But yeah, I never really understood why people were so obsessed with him. It was just kind of like, okay, bro, try harder. You can be less of a dick. You're an adult. You have the power. I just think that he didn't show enough character growth for the supposed maturity of his years. For Snape. I think that maybe it's true that there are a lot of adults who don't process their baggage and carry it for that kind of distance. But I found it slightly clumsy and not quite as realistic as I would expect it to be for somebody who was his age. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I was legit upset when Alan Rickman died. I don't get caught up in celebrity all that much. There's very few people that I'm more than like, oh, that sucks, right? Alan Rickman was one. Leonard Cohen, when Leonard Cohen passed, was another one. David Bowie. I'm going to be a mess when Cher dies because I was a disaster when Carrie Fisher died. Carrie Fisher is the be-all and end-all of celebrity for me. I absolutely loved her in life. I adore her even still. She is just someone that brings me so much joy and so much desire to be better and do better. We share a diagnosis with the bipolar. Mine manifests differently than hers did. But the fact that she struggled and made her life whatever she could was just, it's so huge for me as an inspiration whenever things start to feel really overwhelming and really like, what the fuck? Again, with the swearing, oops. Just Carrie Fisher flipping the world off gives me the strength to keep going. Sometimes that is all you need is Space Mom just giving the world the bird. Love her so much. My friend Gord got to meet her and he has his picture with her and I'm just so grateful that through the 6 degrees of separation I am that close to Carrie Fisher, because I never got the chance myself. She's a magnificent human being. Yeah, Carrie Fisher was absolutely a total badass. For sure. I wonder why cactuses have peculiar growth rings on them. I have never seen a cactus that wasn't in a greenhouse, and I don't know the first thing about them. Well, I know the first thing. Some of them you can turn into tequila, and they grow in places where it is hot and dry and can store a lot of water. And they make beautiful homes for little owls that nest in them. So I guess that's 3 things that I know. Yeah, I think I might have posted that article. Because it was such a good article. I think I know which one you're talking about, Laura. Yeah, carpenter's pencils are pretty soft. Why do you think you need a harder lead, Patrick? Is it smudging? I have no idea what these plants are, but the fact that they're this neat is kind of cool. Super black stalks in the middle of this. Super white blossoms. I'd believe tarantulas. I would absolutely believe tarantulas. But aren't there tiny little owls that burrow into the really tall, thin cactuses? I feel like this is a thing. Hang on. Let me use my phone to Google it. I don't know if it's specifically Arizona, but... Ferruginous pygmy owls. They do not migrate. They live in holes in cacti like the saguaro or the organ pipe. These holes have often been made by woodpeckers. And they're adorable. So cute. Yeah, I guess woodpeckers are the contractors. I'd say more that woodpeckers are the spec builders, and that the owls move in once the work is done. I love that you know who Homes on Homes is. Oh, that little bit of Canadiana warms my heart. Does too, does too. I've been going on to Kfir's live stream on Twitch frequently lately. He live streams a lot, and it's convenient because I can just show up and I can work while he's streaming, and we kind of chat and whatever. And the last couple of times, it's been super interesting that I've logged on right at the time that something Canadian has been playing on his live stream music. I'm just like, oh look, it's Gordon Lightfoot or Leonard Cohen or Katie Lang or whatever. And I'm like, haha, it's like you're summoning me with the Canadian music. I'm beginning to think that I kill the nibs on my 005s before I actually drain the pens. It's enough to make me wish that the leads on the Copic pens were better because I can refill those. And so if I kill the nib, I can just replace the nib and then I can refill the ink when the ink runs out. And it's just a much better system in terms of design and ecological impact. But I don't like the tips as much as I like the microns. So really, it's a first world problem. Pardon me. Yeah, I could too. He would be like right in there. Right in there. Oh, I'm really, really enjoying this picture, but word, it's taken some time. Really is. This one is an investment. Sometimes I regret starting something like this in my sketchbook because like with the seam in the middle, it's going to be really hard to scan. And then I need to like focus and kind of set myself down and be like, not everything that you make needs to be like scannable and shareable to people. Like it's perfectly acceptable for you to just make art because you want to make art. I forget that sometimes. Like there's a lot of pressure when you're an independent artist to have the hustle and that everything that you make has to be a product. And I think that that kind of mindset and that kind of lifestyle is just hugely damaging. And I'm feeling really wrapped up in it right now because like I want to start making a business plan and trying to, see if I can make this viable, and having to find that balance between like, this is the work I want to do and this is the work that I need to do as work is challenging. I'm struggling with it right now. Especially because like the work I had lined up that was paying work for this month is not coming through this month. So it's like, okay, well, do you rush to fill that gap financially? Do you just take the fallow time as fallow time? Like, I'm fortunate that I'm in a position where it's not critical if I don't bring in money this month. Like, I owe Dave so much for the job security that he has because it really gives me a lot of freedom to do what I'm doing. But it's still, I feel the pressure and the desire to want to contribute and all of that too. So it gets kind of tossed around in my brain a whole bunch. Yeah, right? Like, drawing for fun is just such a necessary part of the process. And when you don't do it enough, you just get drained and the whole process just loses its joy. Um, there's a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron that I'm a big believer in. It's for unblocking people who are creatively blocked. And it's like a homework book. There's like assignments and stuff. And I've done it twice at different points in my life, and it's been useful both times. But she talks about something called filling the well, which is like making sure that when you're in a creative space that you're constantly taking in other people's creativity and new media and stuff, because it keeps you inspired, it keeps you going. And that if you don't do this, eventually you'll kind of just feel drained and depleted. And I find that that's just as much of a necessary part of my process as like doing new things. It's part of the reason why I think, like, even though I have yet to get through 31 drawings for Inktober, it's important for me to try every year and to put that aside, like map making or whatever for that month, and just be like, I'm going to draw whatever I want along these themes every day. And that I found Inktober this year was just so revitalizing for me because it put me back face to face with the kind of drawing that I did before I got into maps. And that was just really important for me in that moment. Like, super important in that moment. Yeah. Well, sometimes you need 30 years to figure out that it's not all about the money, though, Patrick. Like, oh my God, what year was I born in? I was born in 83, but I was born in December. I'm 37 now? I don't actually know. I don't track that. Anyway, I'm old enough, and it's still taken me the better part of 10 years mildly and 5 years like intensely to divorce my economic value from my value as an artist. And I think that that's just such a different and difficult process for sure. But yeah, when you lose the joy, your art totally suffers, Brian. Absolutely. Completely, completely. Thank you for checking my math, Laura. Yeah, but Mapvember is like you doing a thing that you already do for money. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've never gotten through a Mapvember. I did the March 1 year. Mad Map March. And that was because I just made it up. That was my map that had the purple on it and the blue, and there was no pressure to look good. It was just to get it done. But I find Mapvembers really, really hard because it's just more of what I do for work. Whereas Inktober, nobody is paying me for that ever. Like, I don't know that I've ever sold a piece that was based on that style of drawing ever in my life. The closest is probably the picture of Jesse and Helen's cat I did. So this is like for me. I've never had somebody be interested in like, hey, I'd like a print of that one. The social media aspect is definitely another part of that, right? Like the pressure to be posting and to be posting every day is a lot. Like there are people that I know that start Inktober in September so that they can have these really epic pieces geared together so that they can just be uploading stuff for the first half of the month while they work on the second half of the month. For me, that defeats the point of the challenge. I might be being a purist, I don't know. Like, I don't want it to become such a production that I need to work on it for 2 months out of the year. Like, no, it needs to be for me, not for other people. Oh, for sure, the defeat of the purpose. It's just like, what? You'll be 39 in April. So that means I'm 37 right now. Yes. Guys, I can't math. Like, this is a thing. Art's because I can't math. To be fair, though, I can't math because things got screwed up in school. I was an advanced math kid, and I got bounced between grades a whole bunch because they were like, we'll put you with the older kids, and now we'll pull you back, and then we'll put you up again. And it just shook my confidence with math so hard. The only math I'm super good at now is fractions because I cook all the time. But my mental math game is not a strong mental math game. This is true. Oh, that would be fun, Patrick. I'd like to try getting into Ren Fair stuff. I think it could be really cool. The issue that I'm having with Ren Fair stuff is gender, because so much of it is like hyper masculine, hyper feminine, and I do not fit in either of those categories. So it's kind of like, how do I do this without it being anachronistic and without it being uncomfortable? I've been approached by someone to do a steampunk style map as a collaboration for marketing stuff. And I think that that could be fun. We'll see where that goes. Could be good times. Yeah, I'd believe that. My friend is an online retailer of steampunk stuff. She makes her own like accessories and stuff. So it might be cool to kind of work with her audience as opposed to like having to go and do the fair circuit and whatever. That said, I am thinking about getting a table at a local RPG convention in July. And just kind of putting my name out there. Just because I've never done something like that. Could be interesting. See how it goes. Yeah, Melissa's stuff, hey? Yeah, her stuff is gorgeous. She's a very talented lady. Well, maybe you'll see one of my maps next Calgary Expo then. That could be fun. Yeah, right? Just be like, hi people, let's work together. Yep. That's the way to do it. I think it needs to be like a larger convention. This one is pretty small as far as I know, which is fine. I am gonna be getting my feet wet with the whole like, hi, how do I handle shit at a con? Because I've never done this before type thing. So we'll see how that goes. You guys, Saxon is the best. He's just sleeping on my feet. Such a good boy. RPG-a-thon, Laura. I assume you're asking which convention. Dave's gonna run a D&D game for them that day using his terrain stuff, and I'm gonna go do the vendor's hall. So we'll see what happens. And now I'm into thick foliage and I have no idea how to do it. Oh goodness. Okay, my darlings, I think I'm gonna wrap it up for today. I need to stop looking at this for a minute because I think if I progress from here, I'm gonna wreck it. I need to think about what I'm doing. I might try to stream again later today. Just a couple people have been like, you always stream in the morning. Why can't you stream other times? So if I go back on, I'll post again. Maybe not to the map group, but to the Facebook group or my Monocled Octopus Facebook for sure. But yeah. You should totally come up, Laura. That'd be awesome. It'd be so good to see you. So Naglis, good luck with your stuff. Brian, I hope you're having fun. Any idea about when? For today? Probably mid-afternoon. Maybe 3. Let's aim for 3. Good. I'm glad you are. That's exciting. So yeah, I'll post, like I said, on the Facebooks, and we'll see how it goes from there. I have to do some running around that actually forces me to leave the house today, so that's kind of dependent on things. But yeah, I'll post. Alright guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. You made my morning so much better. And until next time, catch you later.